What if Foxy awakened his devil fruit? What if Bonnie awakened her devil fruit? Or how about Kizaru? How crazy would these abilities be? It's true that certain devil fruit awakenings can be insanely strong. Just look at Luffy's case. He went from a normal pirate to a literal god. Having said that, which devil fruits would be the most overpowered when and if they are awakened? For this video, we will not be considering already awakened devil fruits, and thus we will be exploring only the hypothetical future awakenings. Since devil fruits do not really have a standard way that they power up during awakening, we can only speculate how their awakenings will look. You see, so far, we have 4 different types of devil fruit awakenings. The first one typically happens to Paramecia or Logia type devil fruits, like the Mochi Mochi no Mi of Katakuri, where the awakening allows the user to turn the environment around him into the substance of the devil fruit. Same thing occurred with Doflamingo's Ito Ito no Mi, where Dofi could turn even buildings into strings he could control. The second type of awakening happens again in Paramecia type devil fruits. This type of awakening is the one we saw happening in the Goro Goro no Mi of Tessero, the main villain of the One Piece film Gold. This awakening allowed the user to control all the gold present on his ship and use it as a sensory network. The third type of awakening is the one that typically happens in Zoan devil fruits. This type of awakening allows for incredibly enhanced abilities, something we saw happening in Luffy's Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, in Ushi Ushi no Mi model Giraffe of Kaku, and even the Neko Neko no Mi model Leopard of Rob Lucci. The fourth type of devil fruit awakening happens in Paramecia type devil fruits, where the user gains an additional crazy power-up based on his standard devil fruit abilities. Something similar to what Law's awakening looked like, where he gained the Puncture Willy move, an ability allowing him to stab anything with his sword without creating a puncture wound, and then unleashing a tremendously powerful shockwave through the sword. This ability was unlocked only after Law awakened his devil fruit. For the first one, we have the Noro Noro no Mi. Have you ever wondered how strong this fruit would be if it was awakened? The base ability of this fruit is to slow down anything the Noro beam hits for 30 seconds, be it people, objects, or even the space itself. But that was just the base ability. So how about the awakened version? You see, the awakening can be something insanely overpowered, like completely stopping time, or being able to massively extend the range in which the Noro beams have an effect. This devil fruit awakening, combined with a strong hockey user, would be able to literally turn its user into the strongest character in the verse. This was only the first point, and believe me, each passing devil fruit we present is an even more forgotten one that no one realized how strong it would become when awakened. Let's continue. One of the most underrated devil fruits in One Piece is none other than the Baku Baku no Mi of Wapol. In summary, Wapol's fruit allows for the instantaneous creation of objects based on a finite but arbitrarily large amount of material stored inside the body. But since this space is, as we mentioned, finite, this puts heavy limitations on the user. But what if the devil fruit was awakened? Well, in that case, the storing space would become unimaginably bigger, and I'm not sure, but it might even become infinite. This space would serve as both storage space as well as a place for mixing ingredients. If this devil fruit is awakened, the user could literally create nuclear explosions inside his stomach and release them when he wants. Plus, another ability of this devil fruit is the one allowing to combine people or even inherit their abilities as well when the user consumes them, meaning that as Wapol continues eating strong opponents, he becomes stronger and stronger with each passing win. This devil fruit awakening could literally lead the user into a steady but constant upgrade until the user has become the strongest in the world. Is this devil fruit awakening insanely overpowered? Well, listen to the next one. Imagine Bonnie's devil fruit being awakened. But what would that awakening even look like? Well, hear me out. The ability to rewind time. You see, Bonnie is able to freely manipulate the aging process of anything, including herself, other people, or even objects. But what if the true ability of this devil fruit is to rewind the time of these things, and thus return them into a previous stage in time? Meaning that if she awakens her devil fruit, she might be able to turn back time, now knowing for what's about to follow. This ability would be insanely strong during battle. Plus, the other base aspect of this devil fruit is that Bonnie can further age things she touches. So in her awakened state, she might be able to skip through time itself. Any fans of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure know just how broken this ability can be, as this is exactly the ability of the King Crimson stand that grants the ability to erase a given frame of time. During this period of erased time, only the user remains fully conscious and is the only one who can readjust his actions, even though that devil fruit awakening would be a JoJo's reference. How about a My Hero Academia reference? You see, the Sabi Sabi no Mi grants the ability to rust anything the user touches, but that's just a base ability of this devil fruit. How about the awakened version? You see, if that devil fruit is awakened, it could literally spread a domain where anything inside of it rusts or decays, an ability resembling Shigaraki's awakened quirk from My Hero Academia. So yeah, any fans of that anime know that this ability can be insanely strong. Even though that Devil Fruit Awakening is incredibly strong, this next Devil Fruit I'm going to explain now is by far the strongest there is. You see, the Sub Fruit is awakened once you click the subscribe button. And what is the power of this awakening? Well, you receive the best One Piece content there is. One thing's for sure, if I were you, I would surely want to awaken that Devil Fruit. Next, I would like to speak about the Ui Ui no Mi model Seiryu of Kaido. This Devil Fruit was considered one of the strongest ones in the world of One Piece. We saw how many things Kaido could do with it, including, but not limited to, the ability to turn into a huge fire-breathing dragon that can also fly and had incredibly durable scales. I mean, even blows of incredible power, including ones strengthened by regular armorman haki, have proven utterly ineffective at hurting Kaido. Having said all that, imagine how strong this Devil Fruit would be if it was awakened. As we explained, the Zoan Awakenings grant a noteworthy increase in all existing abilities, so we can only imagine how strong this fruit would be when awakened. We did mention one of the strongest Zoan Devil Fruits, but how about probably the strongest Paramecia Devil Fruit? You see, the Gura Gura no Mi is able to cause destructions of such scale, and remember, we're still speaking about base form. An awakened Gura no Mi could literally cause unparalleled destruction like never seen before, as the earthquakes caused would probably be strong enough to completely annihilate entire countries with a single attack. Was that Devil Fruit Awakening incredibly strong? Well, hear this next one. Crocodile's Devil Fruit, the Suna Suna no Mi, allows the user to transform their bodies into sand, as well as create and control sand in large quantities. In awakened form now, the user will be able to completely dry out everything within a few meters radius. Or, this awakening could turn Crocodile into glass, as in reality, glass is nothing more than sand that underwent processing. And as we know, certain types of glass are even stronger than steel, meaning that this could even make Crocodile insanely durable as well. He could launch glass projectiles that could be incredibly lethal, or even create a glass-made sword to fight like a swordsman if he wishes, or even turn his surrounding area into either sand or glass to serve all kinds of purposes during the fight. Once again, insane strength when awakened. Did the previous one sound powerful? Well, hear this. How overpowered would the Doku Doku no Mi of Magellan be if it was awakened? You see, in base form, this Logia Devil Fruit allows the user to create and control a wide range of poisons that can vary in strength and form, ranging from a mild irritant to a strong paralyzing agent to a deadly and highly corrosive toxin. But what if this potential awakening was something similar to Doflamingo's or Katakuri's case, meaning being able to turn the environment around the user into poison? Anyone wishing to fight Magellan would find it close to impossible to even come close to him. I mean, we saw that a single touch for Luffy was enough to literally destroy him. Imagine trying to fight in an area that at any second it became poison, which a single touch worth could be proven lethal. A similar case with that would be the potential awakening of the Goro Goro no Mi of Enel. In base form, this Logia-type Devil Fruit can create, control, and transform into electricity, effectively becoming lightning incarnate. When awakened, this Devil Fruit will be able to turn everything within the vicinity into either lightning itself, or just charge everything around with incredibly high voltage. Just walking on the ground causes the opponent to receive massive amounts of electricity, so once again, incredibly difficult to counter. However, this Devil Fruit would still have a weakness against certain Devil Fruits that turn the user into a material where electricity cannot pass through. A case like Luffy, for example, where his entire body is made out of rubber. And that's exactly why the next Devil Fruit might be even more powerful when awakened. After all, probably no user is immune to its abilities. You see, the Bomu Bomu no Mi allows the user to detonate their entire body or limbs in a manner akin to a living human bomb, generating powerful explosive forces that harm anything but the user itself. When awakened, the user will be able to turn anything he touches into a bomb, ready to explode as soon as the user wishes. Or even more than that, maybe the entire place around the user can become a bomb, similar to how Katakuri could turn everything around him into mochi. Now that would be an insane power to possess. A Devil Fruit now that, to be fully honest, I'm not exactly sure what the awakened version of it would look like, is Big Mom's Soru Soro no Mi. The fruit's power of soul manipulation, as demonstrated by Big Mom, consists of manifesting and drawing out the souls of people who feel fear towards the user. The manifested souls take the form of a light pink, spectral-looking, but tangible for the user's substance, which leaks out of the victim's body like smoke. But would the awakening of this Devil Fruit just cause an upgrade in power output? Or would the awakening grant another overpowered ability? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Next in line, I would like to speak about one of the most easily forgotten, but at the same time, highly powerful Devil Fruits, the Zushi Zushi no Mi, consumed by Fujitora. Whoever eats this fruit is granted the power to create gravitational forces of extreme potency. The range of the gravitational field appears incredibly big, as it can pull down meteors from the skies, possibly the outer atmosphere of even space itself. So how would it be when awakened? Well, listen to this. Imagine controlling the very gravity of everything to a point that you can make the gravitational pull of certain areas so strong that the user will not be able to even move, or even even worse, crush them from the high gravity itself. Or do the exact opposite, meaning make certain areas have zero gravity, and thus make it incredibly difficult for anyone to move in that area. This awakening would be as strong as it gets. But a devil fruit that would be of equal, if not higher strength than even one of the ancient weapons is the following. You see, the Hiso Hiso no Mi that was originally eaten by Apis allows the user to understand the heart of an animal. In other words, it allows them to speak telepathically to animals. But when awakened, imagine being able to control the very animals you speak with. And yes, that would include the Sea Kings as well, an ability so overpowered that was labeled as one of the ancient weapons Poseidon. Next, let's explain how all three of the remaining Devil Fruit users within the Straw Hats can have insane Devil Fruit awakenings. You see, Chopper's Devil Fruit is the Hito Hito no Mi, a Devil Fruit that turned Chopper into a human. But what if I told you that this Devil Fruit's primary ability is not exactly that? You see, Zoan Devil Fruits do not normally stay active all the time, meaning that Chopper should have been a full reindeer that only when he activates his Devil Fruit, then he turns into a human, and not really being a human-reindeer hybrid all the time. What is the significance of this observation? Well, Chopper's real Devil Fruit might be called the Kino Kino no Mi model Amiodake mushroom. After all, if you observe the fruit Chopper ate, it does look like a mushroom, right? What it did with Chopper was that, in a sense, it cured him by giving him what he needed in order to gain friends, meaning turn Chopper into a human. The Amiodake mushroom, after all, is said to be able to cure all diseases, and that's exactly what Chopper's Devil Fruit awakening will be. And that's exactly how Chopper's dream of being able to cure all diseases will turn into a reality. Was this exciting? Well, hear the Devil Fruit awakening of Brook next. You see, the Yomi Yomi no Mi allowed Brook to come back to life, as well as use several soul-based abilities. But during awakening, Brook will be able to summon dead people to fight alongside him. Now that would be a fitting ability for the Soul King, a character that, by the way, is a literal skeleton. I honestly could not have imagined a more fitting character to wield this power other than Brook. Now we reach Nico Robin and the Hana Hana no Mi. The fruit's major strength, as demonstrated by Nico Robin, is the ability to sprout multiple parts of the body on almost any surface, including the user's own body if needed, and then manipulate the said body parts remotely, as if they were an extension of the user's own original limbs. When awakened now, Nico Robin will be able to create multiple fully functional clones of herself that will not only be as strong as Robin herself, they will also be as durable as her as well, meaning that, yeah, they will not be destroyed with a single scratch like happens in the Naruto universe. So far, we covered all the Devil Fruits eaten by emperors, with the two remaining being Buggy's Bara Bara no Mi and Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi. So let's just see how overpowered these two Devil Fruits would be when awakened. Let's start with the Bara Bara no Mi of Buggy, that normally makes the user permanently immune to damage from being cut or pierced, regardless of what form, including hockey-infused slashes. Instead of the body parts being permanently dismembered from such attacks, the dismembered parts of the user's body fully remain in the direct control of the user. In the awakened state now, the user will be able to split anyone he touches into pieces instead. Another possibility is that the user will now be able to reconstruct his own body however he wants, in a way that he can take all kinds of forms in order to power up, meaning readjust his own body in order to create a stronger and more efficient body during battle. And now, for the last Devil Fruit of the Emperors, we have the Yami Yami no Mi of Blackbeard. The first and foremost strength of this fruit is that it allows the user to control darkness and its unique property of gravity by creating black holes. But you see, in the awakened state, these black holes become even more massive and incredibly more powerful. Plus, when fighting during the night, the user becomes unbeatable because he can now control the very darkness that surrounds everyone. A Devil Fruit now that is the complete opposite of the Yami no Mi is the Pika Pika no Mi of Kizaru, that in base form allows the user to control, create, and transform into light. In the awakened version, Kizaru will be able to control light itself, meaning that during the day, where light is everywhere, Kizaru becomes incredibly stronger. From one admiral to the next, we now have Aokiji and Hie Hie no Mi. This Devil Fruit allows the user to control, create, and transform into ice. But how about the awakened version? Well, that would probably grant the ability to the user to massively increase the ice output, so much that basically Aokiji will now be able to create a barrier of frost around him non-stop. Anyone that comes close to him would freeze to death. And yeah, it goes without saying that this would be an incredible power-up to master. Up next, we have two very similar Devil Fruit awakenings. The first is the Magu Magu no Mi, that normally allows the user to control, create, and transform into magma. The awakening of this version now will allow the user to turn the surrounding area into magma, basically burning anyone that dares come close to him. Something very similar would apply to the Mera Mera no Mi awakening. This Devil Fruit that allows the user to control, create, and transform into fire, when awakened, would allow the user to create flames out of nowhere in the surrounding area, once again burning anything that comes close. So far, we mentioned one Devil Fruit that we were not sure how it would be when awakened, but in reality, we have another two incredibly strong Devil Fruits that we are not fully sure what extra abilities they would grant once awakening. You see, the Nikyu no Mi of Kuma gives the following ability to the user. Anything they touch with their paws can be pushed away at will with immense speed and force. But would the awakening grant another ability besides increased output or strength? And if so, what would that additional ability be? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. The other incredibly strong devil fruit that we are not quite sure how it would be when awakened is the Habi Habi no Mi of sugar. The main strength of this fruit is that it allows the user to transform other people or animals into toys by touch. However, what more could the awakening do, really? No matter what it is, it's almost certain that it'll be quite strong, as after all, even in base form, this devil fruit is insanely overpowered. Next, we have the Sube Sube no Mi of Alvida. This fruit makes the user immune to damage caused by weapons, projectiles, hand-to-hand combat, and other hazards derived from solid objects, as those will just slip off her body once contact is made, with the user suffering no apparent harm at all, no matter how big or heavy the incoming threat is. When awakened now, Alvida will be able to make everything around her have zero friction. And do you know what that means? No one would be able to even stand on their feet. Believe me, even though that does not sound all that much, in reality, it's incredibly strong. Friction is the very reason humans and everything in the world generally manages to balance and thus stand. Without friction, everything just slides around and nothing can even maintain a fighting stance. Next, Suke Suke no Mi of Shiryu, that allows the user to become invisible. When awakened, everything around the user will become invisible, making not only the user difficult to locate, but actually almost impossible for the opponent to even move around, as even though the characters will be touching the ground, they will not be able to even know where the ground really is. Fighting without knowing how the surrounding area is would be way more difficult than most people think. Next, hear this. How difficult would it be for any opponent to fight if the weight of their bodies changes constantly? You see, the Kilo Kilo no Mi can normally manipulate the weight of the devil fruit user, but when awakened, the user will be able to manipulate the weights of opponents just by setting their sights on them, making them as light as a feather they could never be able to land a powerful enough attack, or making them incredibly heavy to a point that they would have difficulties even moving. This next devil fruit has a very simple ability that does not really allow for such imagination as to what its awakening will be, but I will say this, even in base form, this devil fruit is incredibly powerful, that being none other than the Bari Bari no Mi of Bartolomeo, that allows the user to create an impenetrable barrier that not even the likes of Odin could break. When awakened now, the only difference is the range and the amount of barriers the user will be able to cast. A rather simple power-up, but at the same time, incredibly powerful. Next, we have the Ishi Ishi no Mi of Pika. The devil fruit's primary ability is the power to merge and assimilate with any form of stone. This allows the user to take control of anything made of stone when they come in contact with. This was already an incredibly strong fruit, but imagine being able to manipulate rocks, which are everywhere by the way, to an extent that awakened devil fruit users can. Once again, another case of incredibly overpowered devil fruit awakening. Next, we have the Gasu Gasu no Mi of Caesar Clown. This devil fruit's main strength is the ability to change into a gas-like form, allowing the user to float, fly, and go inside places that normal beings cannot. Plus, the user can produce all kinds of gases to use for various purposes. Once awakened, this smoke could be a much thicker one that would suffocate the opponent. Plus, it could maybe even grant the ability to turn surroundings into smoke itself that the user will then be able to control at will. Next in line is the Doa no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit consumed by Bluno that allows the user to create a door on almost any solid surface so that they can enter through. This allows them and anyone else passage through the object, no matter how thick or strong it is. When awakened now, the user can travel anywhere in the world as long as there's a door. Basically, in a way, allowing instant teleportation. On to the Horo Horo no Mi of Perona. This Paramecia-type devil fruit bestows the ability to conjure forth ghosts, referred to as hollows, that are fully under the user's control. These hollows can come in different sizes depending on what the user desires. When awakened, the number of hollows will increase dramatically, while also their abilities will become much stronger as well, like stronger explosion and higher effect of mental manipulation being just a few examples of that. Check out this video, where we present what would have happened if Prime Whitebeard was present during Marineford. Go on, check it out!